Good people, what's going on? Welcome to episode 65 of the Dome Podcast. Today I got my guy, Deme D from the DagogetaTV. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Cat, I respect, man. How you doing, my brother?
I'm chilling, man. Doing my evening. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for having me on the platform. Appreciate that. You're already.
Well, look, man, no doubt, of course. So, few days ago, man, chopping up with some friends down here about Biggie Smalls, man, and Ready to Die 30th anniversary, man. Like, man, hip hop is growing by the day, man. Like, 51st anniversary, Biggie 30th anniversary, Ready to Die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to dive into what this album really means for the culture, because for some reason, I really believe, man, to be honest with you, bro, it's kind of going, it's crazy to say, but I think Ready to Die might be underrated, man. I think that people are not talking about it enough in the context that they should be talking about. So at 30 years, I was a freshman at UNC Greensboro A&T here in North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? And I had already heard a bunch of niggas, you know what I'm saying, with Heavy D, with Biggie on that track. I heard, of course, I heard Real Love. I heard, Party and Bullshit, who's the man.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Right. Heard a couple of Super Cat joint. So who's anticipating this Biggie, man? Like, for you being upstate, man, when was your first time you heard Biggie? And we'll get into Ready to Die.
I can't say I heard the Heavy D cut real time. That came later on. I want to say probably like the Super Cat joint. I want to say Party and Bullshit is probably like the first. He was just like another dude to me. I'm not even going front. So that yeah, he was just like, okay, who this dude? But it's when what was that? Not Warning. What's the premiere joint? My memory is terrible now these days. Unbelievable. But I heard that, and then Juicy, and it was just out of here.
So that's when you heard it. That's when you heard that joint. You was like, okay, he official.
He official. Was, like before that, I was like, okay, he's cool. But then I think, his story starting to come out. Bad Boy was blowing up. Remember they had the Flavor in Your Ear remix.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a lot happening. It just kind of just started snowballing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, he official. I'm from Brooklyn too, so I'm like, okay, right. Brooklyn in the building.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I figured, this would be the conversation that made sense, man. So yeah, I remember hearing. I didn't hear the Heavy D joint in real time, but I heard the Mary J. Blige joint. I heard Super Cat joint, and I had Who's the Man soundtrack. Didn't really love the soundtrack, but when I heard the part of bullshit, I was like, dude can rap. But I mean, I wasn't blown away by it. But I was like, dude can rap. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't polished yet either.
Yeah, it's not like the first time I heard, Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying? Or the Bridge Is Over. I mean, it didn't blow me away, but I like, dude got a crazy cadence, crazy voice. He got some energy on the track. Let's see what's gonna happen with this dude. Then I heard the remixes and all the other songs. Cool, but when I heard Juicy, you know what's funny? Juicy is like a love letter to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about him saying it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. I mean, the whole song's about a kid dreaming about hip hop, aspiration. Salt, pepper, Heavy D up in the limousine. You know what I'm saying? He talked about Funk Flex, Marley Marl. You know what's funny? A lot of people don't get that. A lot of the greatest MCs are hip hop heads first.
They overlook that. That's what helps them, make that quality music as well too, though.
Yeah, man. So hearing that joint going in and Ready to Die, man. Like, let me ask you this: do you remember the first time you caught Ready to Die and you went through it and your initial thoughts on the album?
Yo. Well, let me start with, that's my favorite soloist album of all time. So when we first copped it, yeah, that's my favorite of all time. When we first copped it, we played that shit all day, every day for weeks. Went on my cousin copped it first, right? And I don't know if people remember the PlayStation, the first PlayStation. That's how you know we did ourselves. The first PlayStation, you could play a racing game. It wasn't Need for Speed. It was something else, and you could put a music CD. Yeah. So we used to just ride a race and listen to the album all day, man. We loved it. I loved it. The only song I didn't really play heavy was, the Suicidal Thoughts. That was a little heavy for me. But yeah, I related to the album so much, I just thought it was clever, it was raw, production was dope. You know what I'm saying? He was just that guy.
Man, what's crazy? It's funny you said that the song that you thought was heavy was Suicidal Thoughts. I mean, because Ready to Die is essentially a concept album. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you from the birth at the first track to, of course, Suicidal Thoughts at the end. You know what I'm saying? The gunshot versus actually Baby Being Born in the beginning was pretty brilliant at the time. But the song I didn't like was Friend of Mine. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you know what? That I could have skipped that a little bit at the time, but then later on, I didn't realize he was body bagging it because my pops used to always, that was my pop song. So, but yeah, I could see skipping that.
no, but it's funny because I always laugh about there's certain albums I always felt like, and don't get me wrong, one song do not stop an album from being a classic. I don't even know what people get that from. A flawless album is all perspective. Everybody can listen to like 10 different albums they consider the classic and be like, that one song right there is one I don't listen to, I skip. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was just wondering why, for example, those other unreleased songs that when you think of that best of Biggie by Mr. C, I'm like, damn, I feel like one of them joints could have been on there, or whatever Who Shot You was actually recorded. Because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the initial Who Shot You, I know they played a little snippet on Mary J. Blige's album, but I heard a rumor that it was Keith Murray and LL and Biggie.
It was supposed to be Keith Track. That's where they got the snippet from, because it was actually supposed to be Keith Track. Yeah, and then you know how it goes, and then it end up in Biggie hands, and then the rest is history. But yeah, I definitely heard it on the Mary joint too. That was the first time I heard it.
Yeah, so but nevertheless, man, like what I want to do, man, was kind of go down through some of the tracks on Ready to Die, man, do the knowledge on some of that, man, because I felt like, and I'm gonna say this. When I think about the ranking of Ready to Die, I actually believe Biggie's performance on there, he's not the super intricate MC, but he's a lyricist, but he's making it relatable. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. I always say Biggie is as nice as you can get without crossing over into like Black Thought, Pharoah Monch, Eminem, Redman, and all that type of. He's like right there before you start getting into all of that. Like you said, he's relatable, charismatic.
Yep. And that was the word I was about. You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say the relatability of Biggie. It was never so intricate that that you had to start studying the rhymes, but it was still clever at the same time. His cadence, voice, flow. It was actually perfect for what he's actually the perfect MC over 16 bars.
Because what a lot of people don't understand, not just with Biggie, but since we're talking about him, like Biggie wasn't performing. I'm saying, and it's not a slight to people. Like a lot of rappers are performing, they're rapping. That's why it's not no relatability, because they're rapping and they're showing their rap ability, and it's just like, I'm rapping, I'm nice. So it's like it's hard to they don't really got no. Biggie was just telling you what was happening with him in a fly way that rhymed. So it's like, who can't relate to that?
And that translates right in the whip. It translates being on stage. You know what I'm saying? It translates in the studio or in the radio station when you dropping bars. It's not too much.
And I know his cat. I know he got a shady character. He's a bad individual, but you also have to give credit to Diddy too, man. You gotta give Puff credit for steering Big in the right way. Because he probably would have had a whole bunch of raw shit if it wasn't for him and like I guess the other A&Rs and all that shit too.
My God, make no mistake, without Puff, Ready to Die could have ended up being Into the Stage with a fucking Shining.
I can see that. Yeah, exactly. Into the Stage. It's not a slight. That's not a slight. I'm just saying.
It's not a diss. The vision was there because I think at one point when Puff got, we'll get to Ready to Die in a minute, but when Puff got fired by Andre Harrell Uptown, Biggie in limbo. The rumor was during that time he came down to North Carolina. He came from other spots. And then when Puff got him back in New York, he recorded Juicy. He didn't want to do Juicy, is the word. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't like that sample. He didn't want that sample. He wanted some Machine Gun Funk shit because that's how Big was. You know what I'm saying? And if it's up to Biggie, Ready to Die might have been 14 to 15 Machine Gun Funks. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no one more chance remix and Big Papa.
It would have been the one, yeah, the one more chance that you got. That's would have been the one that was there, the original.
Hey, without Puff, real quick, Ready to Die could have been Sunrise in the East.
Yeah.
You know
just
what I'm saying?
Just a little more swag though, but it would be
don't doubt
raw like that.
Definitely more swag, man. But just looking at, man, the track list real quick, man, after that birth, man, things done changed, man. I always felt like, and I recently tweeted how great Big Pun was on B Word on Capital Punishment. You know, the way you set off an album is so vital to how it's gonna flow, man. And Biggie on Things Done Changed, man. I mean, remember back in the days when niggas had waves. I mean, everybody know that first line.
Yeah.
I mean,
stay seeing bodies with the chalk around it.
I mean, I don't know how many albums actually have a better jump off track, because that's so important to an album, man. And I think Things Done Changed was the perfect jump off track to the album.
Beat is crazy too, and I love the sample.
No doubt. Speaking of where that sample from? Do you remember?
That's that. No, I'm talking about the Dre sample. Remember they used to pump, but now they blast, right?
Yeah, that's the Chronic.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. That's what I love that sample, and I just he set it off. He set it off perfectly.
And look, that show you that at that time the greats were listening to each other. Chuck Puffin was paying attention to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? And we know what the Chronic did for hip hop anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. And you know, that's what I'm saying. You got to produce, because Mo B, I'm sure Mo B helped him a lot too. You know what I mean? Give him a lot of direction and stuff. So,
who also did his props. I did a flowers post with Easy Mo B years ago, because he produced a big part of Ready to Die, and then of course the Hitman did some shit. Lord Finesse, I think, had a joint in there, of course, Primo. But yo, man, Easy Mo B was underrated on the tracks he did on this album too. Just side note.
He's Ready to Die is him. Like you said, there's other producers on there, but he got the bulk of it. He carried that.
You know what was impressive to me too, after that first jump off track when Gimme the Loot came on, man, and you think about like Biggie playing two different characters, you know what I'm saying? And Kool Moe Dee talked about that in his book, There's a God on the Mic to Fit the Greatest MCs of All Time. And he had Biggie as one of the greatest MCs in the top 10, of course. But he said that in that book, he talked about Ready to Die to him was the second greatest hip hop album of all time. And he talked about how amazing he thought Gimme the Loot was. You know what I'm saying?
Gimme the Loot is crazy. Like, Gimme the Loot just represents the grimy, that mentality of when you just in that poverty mentality, when you in that anything goes, I'm doing whatever it takes, you in that soulless, moralist mind state. Is just that realness, man. He said, I don't care if you give me the baby ring and the #1 mom pendant. Like,
yes,
damn.
And you know
savage,
what? He was a savage. He would do some shock value rhymes too.
It was but the dogs in Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. That's the mentality when you starving, like New York in general. New York, when you starving, I'm not even gonna act like what he was saying is far-fetched. As you see, it all materialized years later. You see how wild everywhere is now. But I thought it was clever. I'm young at the time, so I didn't even really know it was big. I'm thinking it was actually two people until like a couple of months after. And
I was in
that was clever though. I would love to know, because I've never seen that spoke on. Who came up with that concept? Was it him to do it back and forth with it? They never talk about that. That was a dope concept.
That's a good thought. That we're gonna have to tweet about that, because I wonder, did Biggie come up with that? Did somebody, did Puff say something about it?
Because they never talk about that. And you can't assume, because it could be anything. It could be anything. So,
and you know what? At that time, because I think back like in '98, several years later, when DMX had that Damien or some shit like that on his Dark and Hell Is Hot.
Yeah.
But I don't remember too many people doing that before Big.
Nah, because even Cam has some shit he did like that, and that was after Big.
Was that on Confessions?
Yeah, on Confessions, Cassidy, everybody I could think of is after that. Maybe there's somebody prior.
Bush was the problem. Yeah, Cassidy did that too. All
Yeah,
this
so
yeah.
yeah, but if it's somebody before Big, I don't know. But that's what I remember.
Man, going into hey man, and look how this is flowing. Things done changed. Give me a loot, Machine Gun Funk, man. You know what I'm saying? With that
Woo!
damn, yo, that's the
The
joint that
funk,
bangs.
baby. That's the one right there. That was the one. Like I played
Lords of
that
the
one to
Underground.
death right there. That's
That's that Lords of
but
the Underground sample. They were just down here. Knife brought them down here about a year or two ago, and they performed at this little venue, man. And Lords of the Underground, it still sounded real dope, man. But it made me think about Machine Gun Funk when I was listening to the album
word.
on the commute.
Word. I got a chance to interview Do It All too, and he said he was supposed to go to that session, but he didn't go. He's like,
Ain't that
but then
crazy?
he said he thought it was dope that they sampled the voices, but he said he should have went. But yeah, Machine Gun Funk that's the one, man. That's the one. I could play that back to back to back to
And
back.
look, and look at it. And you know what? This also goes to I remember episode one of that time of hip hop. Me and my guy Vague, we talked about Only Built for Cuban Links and how great the sequencing was. But man, Ready to Die. When I look at this now, right after Machine Gun Funk, you got Warning. You know what I'm saying? So you go in from Things That Change, Give Me the Loot, Machine Gun Funk, and Warning. And we already know how powerful that song is. Everybody know every word to that song. The video, the Warning. You remember the first time you saw the video, Warning?
Hell yeah, that was the talk of the town. When he stood up on the bathtub, looked at the beat. Like, nah,
Crazy.
that was it. He was swagging. He was swagging.
But look at this. Then you go into now. I'm always big on the title track of an album, and since I just talked about Big Pun the other day on social media and Capital Punishments, title track right now at the fifth song on here was actually sixth if you consider the intro is the actual title track, the Ready to Die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a hard ass song. I played it like 3 times today, man. And
That's
I'm
one
gonna
of
tell
my
you,
favorites.
me too. We're gonna get into that as well. But when he say that shit, my face, your feet, they meet, we stomping. I'm ripping them seeds from Tallahassee to
Compton, nigga. Like even how
Yo.
the way he set it off was crazy. Yo, when I grabbed the Glock, put it to your head, piece. Like,
One of the
over, like niggas are talking that shit.
That's a hard ass track, but you know what was dope going right in?
Right.
Then you go into One More Chance, obviously, man, and then the interlude, which I ain't always big on certain sex interludes. I think they corny to me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I ain't mad. I get it. It was One More Chance.
Yeah, that one was funny though. I ain't gonna lie. That one had me laughing.
It was funny, you know, One More Chance, then the interlude. But then, dog, the only guest appearance, the What is the next track with Method Man. What was your thoughts on Method Man being on the What?
Oh, I was going crazy. Meth was my favorite MC too at the time, so I was like, I'm going crazy. I'm like, plus, right? If people remember on the One More Chance video, the way it ended with the what, but you didn't know what it was. Yeah. So me and my cousin was like, yo, what is that? What is that right there? Yeah. So when we finally heard it, you know, we was playing that shit to death, man. That was a dope ass combo. I'm glad he had Meth on there too, man. That was a great idea.
Yeah, that was real dope. It was real dope. And also it was fun because that's the only feature on the entire album. And I'm gonna tell you what was fun. I made a note earlier that, you know, the Big Mac, Craig Mack and Biggie, when the way Puffer was trying to set off Bad Boy, but the ironic thing is Craig Mack is not on Ready to Die, and Biggie is not on Craig Mack debut.
I never understood that. I can't lie. I don't know. You know, it could be all type of things. I never understood that. I can't lie. That was always wild to me.
Yeah, that was wild to me too. I just thought about that, thinking about it today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they was promoting. You know what I'm saying? And he was in Flavor. You know, Big was on Flavor in the Year remix.
And if anything, I would have thought maybe Mac would have made it to Big album. I could see why maybe Big ain't make it, because that was like the test run and the pro. Like Mac was like the trial run and all of that. But I was definitely it was interesting that he didn't make it to Big. But
let me ask you a question, Deme. So looking back at Ready to Die now, and looking back at the guest appearance only being Mel, is there anybody else you could think of right now that you surprised wasn't on the album, or you would have liked to hear on one of the songs we talked about so far?
Damn, that's a good question. I never really thought of that. I can't really say. I would have said maybe it's kind of too dark for anybody that I would have thought of though. That concept from New York, like at the time, I can't because I would have said maybe Kane, but that's too dark for Kane. That whole there's nothing on there he could have really swagged on. But not really, because at that time, the only person I would say was my favorite at that time was like Buckshot and like Tribe, so none of them really fit that shit.
No,
the next wave is all came out with Biggie that I would have said I would have liked to hear, but at the time I wouldn't have known Prodigy, and that's something that meth shit came as a real surprise. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, you know, and for me personally, like I want to, because I know Nas and Biggie was in the studio before that picture. Everybody said Nas said it was too high to damn write that night or whatever. He ended up leaving the studio, but I think Nas was actually going to be on a remix on one of the Ready to Die songs.
I could have seen that. And then, like, you know, obviously Jay wasn't even around at this time. I know he was in the back scene with Jaz-O, but he wasn't Jay-Z. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's why there was no features on there. Maybe that's why. Because I'm like, who was from Brooklyn at that time? It was really only Kane, like, right? It was Buckshot in them, but they wasn't rocking with them.
And then, well, you know, also Brooklyn. Well, you know, when Q-Tip did what was it? The Brooklyn Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? With Special Ed, right? Special Ed, Master Ace.
What about like OC? You could see like I know maybe he could have made something with him. I'm not sure. Yeah, I caught on to OC later too.
Yeah, because you think about '94, OC had Word Life out. He had Times Up out. You know what I'm saying? Born to Live out, and you know, Times Up, super lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Like I always talk about OC as being one of the most underrated dudes from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's my Cross guy.
I mean, that nigga, you lack the minerals and vitamins. You know what I'm saying? That nigga went off for that Times Up. You know
he doing dumbest.
So now we're getting into, you know what I'm saying, after the what, man, goes into Juicy. And like I said earlier, Big might not want to do Juicy, but it's the perfect rap song. And I did a list of, to me, the 10 greatest rap songs of all time. And Juicy was one of them because I think it's a perfect, like if I ran into a kid who was like 14 years old from some other country who didn't have social media and a lot of music accessible, and they want to know about hip hop, that would be one of the 5 or 10 songs I would play for that kid. I would say this song is called Juicy from this guy named Biggie Smalls who passed away.
Feel good music too, and he rapping. It's not like he just 1-2 in it and all that.
But then it goes into, bro, my favorite song on Ready to Die is Everyday Struggle.
You know that ain't right. Word in the everyday struggle.
The everyday struggle, man. Like to this day, it's the song that I personally play the most off Ready to Die. Man, what you think about Everyday Struggle the first time you heard it?
I mean, like I said, the whole concept of the album, I could relate to it. Like I wasn't I was definitely not in the streets again, but what I related to was just trying to get that bread. Yeah. You know, you being from a single home. I got siblings. I'm the oldest. I'm the only boy. So it's like you can't be begging. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? So you're trying to figure shit out. Right. Well, yeah, everyday struggle. I could relate to it because you know my father was a working man. My whole family was working people, and we just come from. Like I said, we was from Brooklyn at the time when this came out. Though I was living in Queens at the time, though. But that's where we was from. We still was out there, and then. It's just like you said, it was just so relatable.
Yeah, I think anyone
shit, like that's why I gravitated to him so much, though, man. And he knew how to be charming too, smooth. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, Everyday Struggle, that's one of my favorites too.
Facts, man. Anyone black in America can understand the everyday struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Now going into me and my bitch,
and I love. My bad. I want to say, though, I love that beat too. That's one of my favorite beats on there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a sick beat. Like I said, it's my favorite.
That's a sick beat.
But man, like, and you know, me and my bitch, man, like during that time, it wasn't that many songs written like Me and My Bitch at that, like some Bonnie and Clyde shit at that time. It's his own version of like Bonnie and Clyde that you heard people talking about years later, or songs with a female involved, like with Nas Undying Love, or Pharoah Monch had that song
right.
called Trilogy, and of course J&B, Me and My Bitch, all that stuff like that. But you know, Biggie kind of did that kind of first. Not too many. Like, I mean, there was people who had some joints similar to that, but it didn't hit the same way Biggie's hit.
Yo, definitely that was raw too. That was a raw joint too. Very, very. That's what I'm saying. He just didn't say 1, 2, everything. He's like, when the wind blows, you see my polos and Timbos on my car keys, so I can't leave. Real estate, trick up my sleeve. Like, he just, everything always connected, yo. Like,
and then then she was like, if you cheat on me, I'll cut your whatever. And she was like, ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying?
The commentary was dope, right? Yeah, the commentary was dope.
Did at the end, he talking about when he drove to the scene, you know what I'm saying, saw the police, everything. He had to go back around the corner to dash the gap real quick to make sure he clean. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, dope joint, man. Then go into Big Papa. And, of course, man, like, this is Puff right here. When you think of the one more thing,
that's definitely Puff.
It's like, yo, I got to get us on the radio. I got to get us in the club. We got Machine Gun Funk, my nigga, but I got to get us in the club. I got to get us on the radio so we can eat. And Big Papa was just a feel-good joint that
it was fire.
That's when you can tell that Heavy D influence. You know what I'm saying? Like the overweight lover type shit. Like, you know, Heavy D.
New age.
Yeah, he definitely was influenced by Heavy D. And this is one of the songs you can tell. Obviously, Heavy D fucked with Puff at Uptown anyway. You know what I'm saying? So they had a lot of respect for Heavy D.
Heavy D was that guy.
You know, one of the joints I really started getting into more recently in the radio, that was Respect. Respect is a hard joint, yo.
I rocked with it at the time. I get some people didn't like the.
They ain't like, you know, people didn't like Respect.
You know, I said some people didn't like the bridge part when she was like, "It's Diana and King," and it's a Yankee thing. Like some people didn't like that part, but
I thought that was good.
I love it. Yeah, I love Respect. Yo, big up.
Yeah, and the lady the chick that sung that the hook. She also one of my favorite movies in the 90s was Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and it's a track.
Yeah, that's Mercy,
Shy Guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Shy Guy. Nah, yeah. Diana was dope. She was dope. She had another track too. Yeah, Diana King. She was dope.
Yeah, absolutely, Diana King. Yeah. No question. I like that. But like I said earlier, friend of mine, I didn't love it. They could have left it off to me, but I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it didn't throw the album off. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I didn't. Like I said, later on too, I started liking it way more. I guess because at the time that was a little more advanced for me too. I wasn't like that advanced yet with the life. So once I got older, it was like, how you fucking me? See, you know that ain't right. Like,
right. I mean, you know, Biggie had a sense of humor, so he showed the humor side of himself on that song. A lot of humor. So I can appreciate it today. I listened to it again. I'm like, you know what? He was kind of funny. You know,
he was funny. That's why I always tell people when they talk about would he have lasted, and I was keep telling people, the next album. He was just getting into his charm and showing he was funny and personable. Like he wasn't making pain music no more. So he would have definitely, he showed a lot of his humor on this, even though it's a dark album kind of thing. But he showed a lot of humor, a lot of personality. You know what I'm saying?
Now going into Unbelievable, dog, you know, you already know how most people feel about that. I know you thought that was dope the first time you heard it.
That was the one. I memorized that whole shit. I remember that. I used to wait for the radio for that. Buckshots out the sunroof, Lexus coupe. Peep the witnesses. What you think this is? Ain't no images here. I damn it, like, yo, that was the one to do.
And you talk about Prime DJ Premier after several Gangstar albums, the Living Proof Group Home album, Jay with the Dam of the Sun, Rising in the East. You know what I'm saying? Nas joints with, you know, New York State of Mind and Represent. I think he did Represent too. And so this is prime primo with Biggie Smalls on it, man. Like you can't lose. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that shit was so dope, man. That's definitely one of my favorite. I remember at the time, man. I memorized that whole shit.
Man,
Word.
I'll be honest, man. When we get to that last track, Suicide Thoughts, man. I'm in college when it come out, and I remember I got to that last track. It's real grim, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I ever heard a rap song like that at the time. Of course, now at some point I heard Scarface, "Man Cry, Man Die." Of course, that's the deepest shit ever, probably for me. And he got a song on, and real quick, Scarface got a song on. Hey, yo, hopefully Scarface, man, get better. You know what I'm saying? I heard he was in the hospital at one point recently, but Scarface had "Man Cry, Man Die," you know, and then he had the joint "In My Time" on "Last of a Dying Breed." But that reminds me of the way Biggie was on "Suicidal Thoughts." MCs just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the last time an MC gave you chills like that? When you listen to "Suicidal Thoughts," it's some, and the words to it.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
It ain't for everybody, bro. I listened to it again tonight, and I was like, that's a dark ass song leading into life.
That's what I said. It's heavy. It's heavy. Like, I'm sick of niggas dying. I'm sick of niggas. Like, nah.
Oh my god!
And he still made it a song too. Like, it's crazy.
And Puffy, I know he was. People think what they think, but we don't talk about music right now. Puffy was brilliant putting "Ready to Die" together with Biggie, and even his commentating on "Suicidal Thoughts" felt like a story because he like, Big, yo,
story, yeah.
He's kind of talking about, man, I'm about to get in the car, I'm about to come over there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's talking to him on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? So I like that.
It's real. I don't think that, like you said, I don't think that aspect gets enough props. See, I think he gets props for being nice, for being, bringing New York back. He gets props for a lot of shit, but that cleverness for the concept of that album and how well it was put together.
Yeah, man. And in retrospect,
because even I forget that it's a concept album because I don't really mention it within the likes of it, but but in all reality, it is. It's a conceptual album.
It absolutely is, man. And even when it came out, it got slept on the first week. The 2 sales weren't high, but eventually in 1995, when them remixes started popping off, the album ended up going platinum, and that's over 6-time platinum, man. But also in retrospect, in 2020, Rolling Stones ranked it the 22nd best album of all time, all genres. Now understand something. We know Rolling Stones, we know how they can get sometimes the Rolling Stones. But they rank "Ready to Die." Not number 22 all time hip hop album. The all time top 500 album listed. It was rated number 22. Also in 2024, National Library of Congress inducted for cultural significance. You know what I'm saying? So this is huge.
Love the album. I'm telling you, that's my favorite rap album from a soloist of all time, right there.
And that's saying a lot because I know, obviously I know how much you love hip hop and how ingrained you are into the culture and how many dope solo albums are being out from the early 80s all the way to 2020.
Yeah.
That's saying but it's also saying a lot about the album. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of people, when they talk about bringing the East Coast back, you know what I'm saying, sound like some cliche. But in 1995, it's actually when Biggie and Puff with Bad Boy did help shift.
He brought it back
because again,
brought it back.
A lot of people don't understand that the Chronic didn't come out to like December 1992. So 1993, the Chronic dominated. Even though 36 Chambers was dope, but it's East Coast bound. It was dope. Everybody loved Wu-Tang, but it was still dominating the East Coast. The Chronic was dominating hip hop in 1993. It came out December 1992. So, and then of course, End of the Stage was dope. Tribe, Midnight Marauders, all that stuff was good, but it's still mostly East Coast based. You know what I'm saying? Now, Snoop Dogg dropped.
I'm about to say it's not just the Chronic, it's Snoop. That's what really shut it down too, though.
You know what, though? You know what, Deme? A lot of people don't realize Snoop didn't drop to November 1993, which means the Doggy Style popped off in 94 and Murder Was the Case came out in 94.
All of that. Snoop is mid-90s. That's it when he was on cooking from, like you said, from like 93 to 96, 97.
That's why,
like 97.
That's why it's a misconception that, and everybody who know me and follow my platform over the years know Nas my favorite MC. Everybody know that. But even as great as Illmatic was, that's 1994. Snoop dominated 1994. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
Nas wasn't in that mix though. He wasn't.
Nas
He
got his
wasn't a
love.
star.
No, he got his love
He
in New
wasn't.
York. I know you was up there. He got his love in New York. Same way Raekwon and Cuban Links and all that, and 94, 95 and all that. But Snoop was still running shit to Biggie and Puff, 1995, to have One More Chance remix popping off. Biggie on Total's albums, you know what I'm saying? Biggie on all these other R&B joints. That's how Bad Boy and Ready to Die helped bring the East Coast back, man.
All right.
So
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm saying, yeah, he definitely did that. A lot of people gotta know that. He definitely did that.
Hey, give me your 3 favorite songs on Ready to Die.
I mean, that's tough since, like I said, that's my favorite of all
I know
time
it is.
album.
I know it is. That's why I'm asking.
I'm gonna say probably like damn, Machine Gun Funk. Oh man, Everyday Struggle and then the title track. But I love Things Done Changed too, man. But I love the title tracks. I'm gonna say those 3. Ready to Die, Machine Gun Funk, and Everyday Struggle.
So my
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. My favorite one's Everyday Struggle. Then I go with Unbelievable, and then I go with Ready to Die, the title track. But I'm torn also because I love Warning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love Unbelievable. I love what I'm saying. It's still the whole that album is just great, man. That shit is great.
So this one, I want to go left field real quick and say this. I always talked about Biggie Smalls' after Life After Death. We know what Life After Death is. I think it's one of the perfect performances from an MC. I think he did everything you can do as an MC on Life After Death. Any type of song, he wrote every kind of beat, and it's just an amazing album. But I was always curious, man, like, we know Born Again with some older songs and stuff like that. What Biggie album would have sound like? The album after Life After Death. I always romanticize about that, man. Like, have you ever thought about, like, damn, man, like, how would that next album, that album number 3 would have been?
That's what I'm saying. I think it would have been dope because I think he would have been tapping into his artistry bag. Like songs like Sky's the Limit, songs like I Need Another Bitch. Like, he just was already showing, like, yo, the versatility was crazy. Because really, Ready to Die, like we said, it's a concept. It's really one theme. Talking about the struggle, we talking about his heart in the struggle, why he's ready to die, what he's doing, he's risking his life. Life after death, he's everywhere with it. He's partying, he's talking about some of them dealing with women. I'm fucking you tonight. He's everywhere. So I'm thinking about the next one after that. He does it, he gives us an I Am. I'm saying he does a Nas I Am, like just a very topic driven, touching on everything type album where he's really in his own comfort zone. Like, I think he got in his comfort zone Life After Death. It was about to be a wrap, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really think that, that could be.
It would have been more collabs. Remember, it would have been way more collabs. He started collabing with people on Life After Death. He would have got more features. It would have been going crazy.
Yeah, and then, you probably would have had it, the commission coming with Jay-Z and the crew, and so Jay would have been on. Obviously, Jay
shit with Mace would have went different. Shit with Locks would have went different. Shit with Black Rob, like everything would have been different. I don't know. That's not necessarily say it would have been better, but shit would have definitely been different with the Mace, Locks, that whole movement, the commission, like you said. Like, it's been crazy.
I always said, man, I always thought that in a perfect world, the album After Life After Death, Biggie was so balanced as an overall MC. He might have dropped potentially the greatest album of all time in hip hop on album number 3. I really think if you putting Ready to Die and Life After Death together, that along with some other things on that third album, I really think, man, he might end up having the best album ever. It's possible. I really thought it was possible.
And because I say that because I feel like at that point he realized, like, yo, I don't have to be hardcore on every track. So I think he really got into his comfort zone in Life After Death. I think we would have saw a whole, just a whole different swag. It would have been dope. Like I said, it would have been more features. Remember, you got Kim. Now he would have been doing. Come on, that shit with him and Kim was crazy. You
Yeah,
got
they
more
all.
tracks with him and Kim. You gonna get shit with him and Hove. You gonna get shit with him and the Locks. Like it would have been crazy. You got the Mafia was still there. Like it would have been so much moving pieces.
Yeah, like you said, you even got Black Rob in them there.
You got everybody there when he was there. So it's like he would have just been. I'm pretty sure new producers would have been coming along. Because you see, he switched it up on the second album. He went some work where he had Premiere in them, but he still would have. It would have evolved. Like people act like he wouldn't have evolved. He would have evolved, in my
He would
opinion.
have evolved. He was too good not to, man.
Too good. He's too
He
good.
was too good
Not to stall out on the third. Not to stall out on the third try. Maybe by album 5 or 6, but he was good enough to surpass that. Certain people, they just get caught up in the bread. That's why they dry out quickly. He just came off, even though he was raw, but he was definitely still an artist.
Different artist, definitely a hip hop head, which is going all because even on Life After Death when he had that PSK, you know what I'm saying? Like when we did that song, that's definitely a classic from the early 80s, from the 80s.
Right. And you gotta be in the know to even know shit like that.
Yeah, you had to be in the know. Who was that? Schoolie D, Parkside Killers.
Yeah.
So he was definitely. So I'm gonna transition into, man, not the whole. I'm gonna transition into right now, current state of hip hop, man. I want to get your thoughts on a few things real quick. First thing is
man.
The first thing is this Super Bowl fiasco with New Orleans and Lil Wayne. Let me get your thoughts on that.
I really ain't put too much stake in it. I'm just confused because I thought we didn't even care about the NFL no more. Not to say I was on it like that, because I still casually watch it, but I thought we ain't care no more. And I'm just like, there's never been a point where just because you're from the city, you get to headline like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't see no hate. I look at it like, Kendrick is on fire. It makes sense for the revenue for the company. Everybody not thinking about culture.
No question. And you know what's funny? And you hit it on the head because for whatever reason, people understand NFL is a multi-billion-dollar business. And what did Jay-Z say? I'm a businessman. This ain't got ain't even got nothing to do with Lil Wayne. And I know people
you can't think small-minded like that. Because everybody in there ain't Lil Wayne fans.
Kendrick is the hottest right now. Jay-Z loved Lil Wayne. They were just together 2 or 3 weeks ago. He the same nigga paid Lil Wayne taxes. It's not personal. But when you get mad.
Plus, I mean, listen, Lil Wayne's one of my favorite rappers. Kendrick is a better performer. Kendrick is a better he's more built for that type of platform.
And people just act like they forgot that Mr. Morale tour is a global tour where he sold out arenas all over the world.
Come on. And he putting on a show. He got his track record of stage performances is just elite. And I'm not even a mega. Yeah, I mean, I love Kendrick, but it's not like I'm a mega fan. But you gotta give props where it's due, man. This shit is elite. He's one of the top performers.
Yeah, it's that's what it is. All right, another thing I want to jump into real quick. What's your thoughts, man, on that Conway and Ransom album?
It's funny. I was listening to that today. Nah, it's fire, man. It's fire. I'm glad that V-Don did the whole thing. I'm just what was I gonna say? I just don't understand what was so I can't. I mean, I'm not gonna worry about what other people saying because I was gonna start talking about what other people say. But nah, man, that shit is fire. I think they delivered. I'm glad they worked together. I think it balances out. I feel like it doesn't sound like one long song. They got different topics, right? And then Rand he did a solo track. I think it's great. I think it's great.
Yeah, I feel that as well, man. And I like the way they was trading them balls back and forth, man.
Yeah,
I think every song sounded fresh. Every beat didn't sound like the same beat, to your point, because sometimes I've heard some projects by some of these guys where I feel like I just listen to like 30 minutes of the same song. No diss to these cats, you know what I'm saying?
It's not a diss, but sometimes
these dudes can rap, you know what I'm saying? But I don't need to hit 10,000 bars over the same beat almost. You know,
that's the thing too. You got to at least pick a different pace of the beat if you just gonna bar up. But now even with this, what they got? I don't know the title. I think they got something called Photobomb and Shellfish. Those two songs already is different from what they or no. Well, I'll say what Rand normally does. Conway does all type of shit.
But what's your thoughts on some of the things that Kendrick said in that new song he just randomly put out there, man? That "Watch the Party Die," man. What was your thoughts, man?
I gotta revisit it. I was loving it. I listened to it twice, but I haven't gone back since. But I was loving it. He was going crazy. I don't understand what people have an issue with. As far as I guess because it's nothing they could sing along with, but he's going crazy.
And you know what's funny? So I listened to it about 2 or 3 times today, but I've heard it like 5 times, probably or more. But if anyone who followed Kendrick when he was K-Dot from Compton, overly dedicated and Section 80 and stuff like that, he's been rapping like this. You know what I'm saying? So he's always bucked the system. That's what To Pimp a Butterfly was bucking the system on like 15, 16 tracks. You know what I'm saying? So this is him getting back to his comfort zone.
Yeah, it's dope, man. I can't even, I don't know. Yeah, people say they want to hear raps, but then when they rap, they got a problem.
Listen back to that joint again this week, bro, because the niggas on Demon Time again.
Now I'm gonna have to, because even like with Euphoria, I listened to Euphoria at different times and still was catching lines, and so I'm definitely gonna sit with this. And I like the beat. People say they don't like the beat. I like the beat.
I rock with it hard.
I like the beat.
I rock with it hard, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So now I want to ask you about. Let me take a little sip real quick. Cheers, though.
Yeah, do your thing, my guy.
The quick synopsis on the Drake versus Kendrick battle in terms of hip hop history. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, based on the caliber of status they is, you know, it's gonna be a mega one. I think it's dope that they just kept going at it for a little minute, and they caught everybody's eyes. I think it was dope. I think it was necessary that the top dudes could actually just spar out and go at each other instead of everybody just acting like they too good for it or I'm just too successful to battle. But I do think that was a major. I think that was a major thing, though, for them to battle each other and not play the whole "oh, I'm too successful, I don't need to do this" type vibe. I think that was dope.
So to follow your coattail on that, what you just said, I did a video a couple of weeks ago about Drake, and the title of the video was Drake did what a lot of MCs wouldn't do. And what I was talking about was someone in Drake's position, he could have just ignored everybody and not try to battle Pusha T, not try to battle Meek Mill, not try to battle Common, and not try to battle Kendrick Lamar. But you know, Drake at heart is a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? And he started off, he was singing some, but when he had that room for improvement and comeback season and all that, he was rhyming. He was doing shit with Lil Brother, Ninth Down Hill. He was doing shit with Bun B and Cardinal Official. People, a lot of these casuals remember him after when So Far Gone came out. You know what I'm saying? I had all young Drake shit, and he was a hip hop head. So Drake came back with, you know, as far as like the Duppy freestyle, the joints to get that Stay Scheming verse at Common, the shit he did at Meek Mill back to back, and all this shit. Even all these joints, he was going back and forth with Kendrick Lamar. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, if Kendrick wasn't Kendrick and didn't have the songs he had, Family Matters was a beast.
I don't know. I'm blown away that people are this upset that he took an L. Like, I'm just like, damn,
it's okay.
Is this serious? I'm surprised because it's not like it's only young kids. This is like adults.
Dude, I don't know. Like, you ain't see my tweet about it today. I'm gonna tag you in the tweet I did today. Because
oh my god,
it was a funeral or something. Niggas been losing rap battles since Busy being Kumo D. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for me, it's one of the biggest rap battles in history because they both at the apex of their career and the social media era. And I'm 49, man. I can see that. I remember when Kumo did an LL battle. I remember that. I'm 49. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm telling it, I lived through it, and my big bro was a DJ down here. He's 57 now. So I mean, I've been around the game, and this excitement that they did that weekend. You know, all them songs back to back. They had that weekend on fire. one of the illest weekends of hip hop to me.
Nah, definitely was definitely a monumental moment. You can't deny that, whether you're fans or not. But yeah, that shit was definitely like, especially since they kept going, they ain't just do one off. That made it dope.
Man. So look, I know one thing that you've always done for quite a while on your platform, man, and it's the DagogetaTV, correct? For anyone,
yes, sir. The DagogetaTV.
You always you touch vinyls. You talk about indie artists. You do a lot of different stuff, man. So right now, who are some of the either underground or indie MCs or producers, man, that you've been in contact with, man, that you really want to, you're trying to get them a look, man, and showing them love?
Well, since we mentioned the Rand and Conway joint, I want to salute V-Don. Definitely he's not underground, but he still don't get enough props again. So salute to V-Don. I think you're familiar with a Know It All MC called Know It All. I got 100 grand. Conway's artist Jay Skis. Salute to the guy Etho. Eddie Kane. I did some work with him too. UFO Feed. So just salute to those guys. I rep for the tri-state all day, but I support everybody from everywhere as long as it's good culture, good music. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's important, man. That's why I want you to shout them out, man. Because somebody hit me the other day, was like, man, it seemed like people with big platforms only talk about real famous, artists. I said, well, you know what? If you enjoy artists, you should push their work. I said, like, I'm gonna give you an example.
Right.
I've done 3 posts in the last year where I said, everyone, please share your videos, your music, the links to your albums and websites, etc. And the first 2 got like hundreds and hundreds of people submitting their stuff. The last one, it was a small amount. And I'm like, but we're trying to give y'all the platform to share your music. And I know guys who rap, if I go on their page, I don't see their music. And I'm like, man, post your music.
That's the problem I'll be having with a lot of artists as well. Like, yo, you don't gotta spam people, but it should never be a guess or hunt to find your stuff.
This is the age of information, the easiest time you'll ever see for people to hear your music, man. And I push people music all the time. I retweet people's stuff all the time because, hey, I'm not one of the people who like, yo, man, don't cost you nothing to hit retweet, man. It's not a big deal.
Right. No effort, nothing. It's just simple.
But people won't do that because a lot of people in competition with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, if I see the joint, I'll post it, man. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do another one this weekend coming up. I want people to post all their music. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people really did it on 2 of my joints, and they DMing me thanking me for the look. And I'm like, yo, it's all love, man. I love music. I didn't hear your stuff because I didn't see it. Now you posted it. I get to ride to it, or I get to buy it. You know what I'm
saying? That's what I try to do, man. I post their videos, but like you said, they just you gotta be serious artists too. That's all, man. Take it serious.
And look, any cats that you roll with, man, when you post it, man, always feel free. You know what I'm saying? To tag me in the joint, man. I'll retweet the joint too. You know what I'm saying? For what it's worth. Anybody I can help, man. I love the culture. I love the music. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of talented guys who, they're still grinding, and all it's gonna take is the right person to hear they joint for it to pop off.
Yeah, word of mouth is still vital.
Yeah, man. Well, look, man, stay on real quick, man. Any other updates, man? You like to share anything real quick?
Just everybody tapping with the platform, man. The DagogetaTV. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter X. Always putting out content weekly. Always holding platforms on Twitter. Weekly discussions about hip hop mostly, and tapping with these artists. I got a vinyl show. I have a cypher show. Got a debate desk where we talk about music. Just like on the same level we did today. And I do album listenings. So just stay tapped in with the kid, man. To DagogetaTV. You know what I mean?
And that's what it is, man. Episode 65. Good people, we out here. Peace.
All right, my G.